I'm not going to sugarcoat this. Getting old and living alone can be scary. But there are some good reasons why it might actually be beautiful. By the end of this video, I hope to convince you that this is something to look forward to. In this video, we look at 7 surprising reasons why being old and living alone might be the best. Number 1, independence and freedom. You've heard me talk about this before. By the time we reach our golden years, we should be free from obligations and responsibilities, right? We should be free from the responsibility of raising children, paying off mortgages, helping aging parents, and all those other things that take up so much of our time and energy when we were younger. We should be able to do what we want when we want to, without having to ask anyone for permission or help. This is what it means to be truly independent. Now, of course, we all have different situations. Some of us will need to continue working because we need the money. Others will have health issues that make it difficult to do everyday tasks. But even for those of us who can't enjoy the same level of independence as others, it's still possible to find ways to live life on our own terms. For example, if you can no longer drive a car, you could hire a driver or use public transportation. If you need help with housework, you could hire a cleaning service or ask a neighbor to help out. There are many different ways to maintain your independence as you age, even if you don't have anyone to help you. The key is to be proactive and plan ahead. Don't wait until you're too old or sick to do something about it. The sooner you start planning for the future, the more likely you are to be able to live the kind of life you want in old age. Number 2, self-sufficiency. Another great benefit of getting older and living alone is that we become more self-sufficient. We learn how to do things on our own, and we become less reliant on other people. This is a big advantage when we get older because it means we can take care of ourselves, even when we do and have anyone else around. When you're young, it's easy to think that you'll always be able to rely on someone else to help you out. Maybe you have a partner or family members who can help you out if you ever need it. But as you get older, you realize that you can't rely on anyone but yourself, and that's a good thing. Being self-sufficient makes you more resilient and better able to handle whatever life throws your way. So embrace the journey of learning how to do everything yourself. You might be surprised at what you're capable of. 3, mental agility. As we age, we often think that our minds are starting to decline, but that doesn't have to be the case. In fact, studies show that older adults are just as mentally agile as younger adults. If you're worried about losing your mental edge as you get older, don't be. There are things you can do to keep your mind sharp as you age. One of the best things you can do is to keep learning new things. This could be anything from taking classes at a local community college to learning a new language online. The important thing is to keep challenging yourself mentally. Learning new things helps to keep your mind active and engaged, which is essential for maintaining mental agility. It also helps to build connections between different areas of the brain, which can help improve your overall cognitive function. So if you want to keep your mind sharp as you age, make sure you make time for lifelong learning. You might be surprised at how much you're capable of. For emotional stability. Another great thing about getting older is that we tend to become more emotionally stable. As we age, we learn how to control our emotions and not let them control us. This is a huge advantage when it comes to dealing with the challenges of life, because it means we can stay calm and level-headed, even when things get tough. Emotional stability is essential for healthy aging. It allows us to bounce back quickly from setbacks and challenges. And it helps us maintain close relationships with family and friends. To develop emotional stability, it's important to find healthy ways to express and manage our emotions. This could involve things like talking to a therapist, journaling, or practicing mindfulness. By taking the time to understand and manage our emotions, we can set ourselves up for a happier and more fulfilling retirement. 5, inner wisdom. We all know that with age comes wisdom. That's why we often turn to older people for advice on important matters. But sometimes it can be hard to see the wisdom in our own lives, especially when we're young and feel like we know everything. However, as we age, we begin to see the world in a different way. We start to understand the importance of things like family, friends, and experiences. We also start to realize that material possessions and status don't mean as much as we thought they did. Instead, we find that happiness comes from the simple things in life, like spending time with loved ones, helping others, and enjoying the present moment. This is the kind of wisdom that can only be gained through experience. It's the wisdom that comes from living life and learning from our mistakes. It's the wisdom that allows us to appreciate the beauty in every day. And it's the kind of wisdom that can bring us happiness and fulfillment in old age. So rather than fearing old age, we should embrace it as an opportunity to gain wisdom and see the world in a new light. Number 6. Inner peace. As we get older, we often find ourselves slowing down and taking stock of our lives. We start to think about what really matters to us and what we want to focus on in the next chapter of our lives. This can be a time of great reflection and growth as we let go of the things that no longer serve us and embrace the things that do. During this process, we may find ourselves becoming more peaceful and accepting of ourselves and others. We may also find that we're more forgiving both of ourselves and others. As we age, we have more compassion and understanding for others. We realize that everyone is on their own journey, and we're all just trying to do the best we can. This can lead to stronger relationships and a greater sense of community. We also find that we're more comfortable with who we are. We accept our flaws and imperfections, and we're kinder to ourselves. This can lead to increased self-confidence and a greater sense of well-being. Overall, as we age, we have the opportunity to find inner peace and contentment. This can be a time of great joy and fulfillment, as we look back on our lives with no regrets. It's a time to savor the present moment and appreciate all that we have. So rather than fearing old age, we should embrace it as a time of opportunity for personal growth and spiritual development. 7. No one cares. This is probably the most controversial point on the list, but hear me out. One of the benefits of being old and living alone is that no one really cares about you. This can be a relief in a number of ways. First, you no longer have to worry about what other people think of you. This can be a great burden to be lifted, especially if you were always very self-conscious or anxious about what others thought of you. Second, you no longer have to worry about pleasing other people. You can do whatever you want without having to worry about whether it will upset anyone. Third, you no longer have to worry about making plans and sticking to them just because other people want you to. You can be spontaneous and do whatever you feel like doing at any given time. This can be incredibly freeing and liberating. And finally, you no longer have to worry about being invited to parties or events or included in plans. You can just do your own thing and not worry about whether anyone else wants you around. Of course, this isn't necessarily a benefit that everyone will appreciate. But for those who have always felt the need to please others, or who have always been very anxious in social situations, it can be a real relief. So these are just a few of the reasons why being old and living alone might actually be beautiful. I know it's not easy, but if you can embrace the challenges that come with getting older, you'll be able to enjoy a rich and rewarding life that's full of meaning and purpose. Thanks for watching.